Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. Joining us for this segment, we have Mickey Boland, Global Cybersecurity Architect and Checkpoint Evangelist with Checkpoint Software Technologies, a Nasdaq-listed company. She joins me to discuss what to do if your social media has been hacked and why dozens of U.S. schools and universities are moving to ban TikTok. Mickey, it's great to have you with us. Welcome to Trade Talks.
Hey, Jill, thank you for having me. And I just want to say really quick, at Checkpoint, we believe you deserve the best security. So thank you again for having me today.
Yes, of course. And why is TikTok such an attractive platform for users?
It really did go viral. Everyone loves it. The users are having a lot of fun. And I guess on the platform, I don't personally use it, but also there are people making money on TikTok. So I think that, creating content and becoming an influencer is a big deal nowadays. And so I think that there's just a huge appeal to the platform.
Why are dozens of U.S. schools and universities moving to ban TikTok then?
You know what it is? If you look at Checkpoint Research, so we did a year-over-year study on threats from 2021 to 2022. The number one attack target is universities and schools. We had a year-over-year a 43% increase in attacks and breaches against universities and schools, especially research universities. And then the second one is government. So you can tell that these guys are super concerned about, the risk of PII of students, especially now after COVID and doing a lot of online classes. Is kind of the perfect storm where there's a lot of platforms being used that haven't been used before. Students are joining remotely. There's the attack landscape, right? And that is why they see this as an unacceptable risk that they want to mitigate.
Well, all social media platforms raise privacy concerns. Why is TikTok especially concerning then?
I think it's largely to do with the actually amount of collection. So I just pulled up my Harmony threat prevention and its checkpoints. And if you run a scan on the app for TikTok, it basically it can track your device. It's a medium risk to us. It can track your device without your knowledge. And also it can do this when the application is closed, even though you actually do not allow the permissions for tracking. The other thing is it can turn on your microphone, which obviously you think you're recording video content. You have to have a mic on, have to have camera on, but it can do that without your knowledge and your consent when you're not using the application. So those are kind of risky things, especially universities and schools. You've got younger kids also in school systems using these applications. So they're kind of deemed as unacceptable risk.
It's quite scary. It's horrifying, actually, that these things are able to take place. So then what vulnerabilities did the Checkpoint research find that could allow hackers to get a hold of accounts and manipulate content, delete and upload unauthorized videos, make private videos public, reveal personal information? What were those vulnerabilities?
The vulnerabilities were there really two. Largely was one around the first one that we found in our Checkpoint research team. They're curious, they love to test. They literally wanted to test like the privacy policy, right? The person's user data. So they did some testing. The first one had to do with the registration. So you can register using your mobile device, of course, and instead of using a Facebook account or a Google account or a separate account. And they were able to bypass the registration process to get basically intercept and get an SMS registration link to actually confirm the registration of that user, and then they were able to get into the account. That's probably the least I can go into depth without getting too technical. The other thing that they found was a little bit later was this friends finder. So I personally am against sharing my social media accounts to let me make it easier for finding contacts when I want to do something personally. I think that's a big exposure. And in that friends finder, it basically allowed a potential attacker, a malicious actor could literally have scraped all the information of people's friends finder to use that using like their name and their telephone number of the friends to create a database, then to do a social engineering type, targeted phishing account against that user base that they collected without, again, the user's consent.
Right. So
Or
why
knowledge.
are data breaches becoming an epidemic?
Wow, I talk about that. I get this question all the time, Jill, and it seems like it's just so obvious, but I think we just have to be reminded every day is that there is something of value that everyone has, whether they recognize that or not. We have personal data that tells a lot about us. If that data is parsed together, it's referential data about us, right? A profile can be formed of us. That's information that they can glean and utilize. Primarily cyber criminal gangs and also malicious cyber actors. It's financial fraud, right? They love converting data or PII or PHI into making it into money. So extortion, ransomware, crypto attacks. Excuse me, I have a little bit of a frog. Those things are like highly sought after because these guys can make money off of it. And ultimately, that's what their goal is. There are also actors that are just doing things to be disruptive. Nation states also love to be disruptive and actually use platforms and attacks to do destabilization. But the cyber criminal gangs love to convert anything of value. It's like smash and grab, get the data, get whatever you can, hold it for ransom, launch ransomware or malicious code, and then convert it to cash or cryptocurrency.
Yeah, well, this is why we can't have nice things, apparently. So to wrap up here, Mickey, what can one do to protect themselves on social media? And what happens if you do, in fact, get hacked?
Yes, what I would say is the first thing is be super vigilant about what you download to your smart devices, right? The first thing, number one, is understand what you're downloading and what consent are you giving. Are you just like clicking through, oh, yeah, touch up, yeah. Read this small print. I would use preventive or protective security. Like we have Harmony, Checkpoint Harmony Mobile. We actually assess those applications from a risk perspective, and we play that back to you. We also let you understand what the risk is. We like decipher it for you, and then you can proceed as well. We also monitor the application, so if it starts acting crazy and does something that's not expected, we'll actually stop that attack. The other thing is multi-factor authentication can't be said enough. Don't share mix accounts, don't mix passwords, use VPN wherever, especially when you're on wireless networks. I talked to my mom, I'm like, Mom, do you ever turn your Wi-Fi off? Oh, no, I use it wherever I go. I'm like, no. I mean, for the average user, if you're not using Bluetooth or Wi-Fi, turn it off. And if you really want to be off the radar, go in airplane mode. Those things will help you along the way. And if something does happen, you can always deinstall the application and you can run cleaners on your phone. We have a capability with a consumer grade product called Zone Alarm that you can actually run against your device and clean it up. Sometimes, you have to start from scratch. So hopefully you won't have that problem.
We appreciate the insight, Mickey. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.
Thank you, Jill.